Okay, eBay junk. Yeah, let's get some room. Here's the box. I already opened this up earlier. So I went like that and I closed it. I knew it was in it. So this is something heavy. For the drop test. Sounds like that. Definitely heavy metal. And the reason it's heavy metal, got one of these in there. Crankshaft. So here's how you ship a crankshaft. Cardboard spools on the end protects the shafts so they don't poke through the boxes. So there's no holes in the box. They go on both sides, so that protects your box. Then they put a bunch of this in here. Now you can see how it's banging through the bottom of the box down here. So this is all right, but you really need to have lots of cardboard. So you can see how it's poking holes through the box. So you want to put a couple layers of cardboard down there all the way around the whole thing. And if you wrap it with cardboard and tape it to that, it's even better. Then you throw it in the box all full of junk. But overall, I did a pretty good job of getting it here. So this is a Sportster crank. Not sure the year of it yet. These are late rods or aftermarket rods because they're big and fat. Not cut and machined like they should be. So let's see what we got here. The 76 and earlier crank. I can tell it right there. Okay, so being a Harley, most of the stuff they're marked. So this is a 60 flywheel. So that's the casting. It's got the 57 over here, so it's an earlier style casting. But it's got this, but it's definitely after 60 was made. So the 57 without the 60 means they were made in 57. But this one being with a 60 and it was made 60 and later. So definitely in the 60s, not the 70s. So there you go. The next one they're going to have is a 73 flywheel for sure they make. I think they make a 72 flywheel. There's a 77 flywheel, a 79 flywheel. There's lots of different ones. Alright, so this is this one here. So you can tell it is early because it has a cage over here and needle bearings. In 77 they changed to a different shaft. They went from a 4 spline to a 6 spline. They have a nut on here and they have a needle bearing over here instead of the roller bearing. So this is the earlier one. These are probably aftermarket rods. Yep. So the rods are too nice looking to be Harley. Newer stuff is more precision how it's made. So if everything looks nice and square and straight and precision, you know damn well it ain't a Harley part. It's a China part. So, and the plus on these it says replacement on it, so you know the replacement. Plus on the genuine rod it's actually machined around the surface right here. So they thin the rod up a little bit on both sides, so it's actually machined on the top. Harley quit doing machining around 80 on a lot of rods, especially on Big Twin. So when you start seeing them like this, that means either they're made in the 80s or later, or the replacement stuff. Alright. So this looks like they might have beat this out with a big sledgehammer. Have to put a nut on there and see if it works or not. You can tell the motor had a lot of grit run through it because it's all, see the lights all scored up. Not scored up, but grooved up a little bit. It's had a lot of metal run through it. The rollers look good. They're clean. They're splash lubes, so they get a lot of metal pressure fed time. You can tell it hasn't been together very long. It's got all brand new parts on there. So someone put a brand new rod kit in here is what they did. So this might be one of those Dixie kits that were up on eBay for the last 10 years. Pretty cheap. Yeah, maybe not 10 years. 6 years at least. So, yeah. Pretty nice looking crank. Feels good. So you have a little bit of clearance here. The way you tell how good a crank is, first of all, get it so it quits moving. Okay, so you want to move it this way here a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to do that by my fingers, but see how it moves a little bit. You can also hear it. That's about normal for new. And this one here, see, it's got a lot more in it. So it's half the width, so it shakes 3 times more. That's normal. The other thing you want to make sure the rod slides side to side. See how it slides side to side? So that means the bearings aren't all locked up. Rods that get out around at high RPM, they go oval and they pinch the rollers. So you get clearance like this, but you can't slide the rod. That's very common on a twin cam and M8 because they're garbage. So you want to make sure it's got clearance like that, clearance up in here. And when you start getting to be over 1/8 of an inch, it's starting to get loose. But not necessarily bad, just loose. My race bike has about 1/4 inch of movement on it because I purposely make it that way for racing purposes. Alright, so this one here doesn't look too bad. Now what I want to do is go check to see what it looks like on the towing stand so we can see the condition of it. I'll go over here to the towing stand over here, right there. There's the camera, I can see what's going on. Alright, there's our towing stand. Let's see how good this thing is. First thing I do, I got to move this closer here, because this is not probably a twin cam or an M8 I did last in here. I'm going to slide it way over. There's a mark kind of about there. It's probably where it belongs. Let's see. Okay, let me just take this and lay it up in here. And might have enough room. A lot of crank in there. There we go. The problem with this is we got bearings, spacers, and that spacer is not moving, which is not good. Alright, well, we'll work around it. I can't work around it. Look at our Timken bearing spacer is not letting me do what I need to do. So I'm going to move it over a little bit. It's got a lot of muck on this motor evidently. Normally these things just slide right off. Not sure why it's not coming off. Okay, that one's out of the way. Now we can put our pointer on there. Then we get an idea how straight it is. Now I'm not doing the other side because the bearing's on it. I don't feel like taking it off. Okay, this crank sucks. So you can see how it's moving 3 lines there. Maybe just 6 thousandths out, 5 to 6 thou out. And this one over here, the pointer would go here where the bearings are at, but I'd take these bearings off to do that. And I don't feel like really doing that much work, but to make the crank worth more money, you should true it. You can also see the wear mark on the crank. You can see how it was run out of true. So that's worn real heavy on this side. It's not even hitting on this side hardly at all. That's because the crank's not straight. So this thing was a vibrating turd. Now, chances are these crank pin nuts are probably not super tight. And that could be they could have moved on them. Or they might have just did a very bad job when they put together. You never know. But, this crank feels good and all, but it's just not, quality's not quite there like it should be. So. Alright, so if we want to true this thing up a little bit, I have to pull the snap ring off right here, slide these bearings over, and then I can get that pointer on there. I can knock and beat on a little bit, so I guess we're going to beat on a little bit. Alright, let me get some tools. We'll be right back.